Hello, another week begins, and here we are with another entertainment review. Um, Autumn is well and truly underway, which can only mean one thing. It's time to get those dancing shoes on and keep dancing, because Strictly Come Dancing did return on Saturday night. And personally, I was quite glad to see it return. In a year of uncertainty and absolute madness, um, it's nice to see familiar TV shows such as Strictly Come Dancing and I'm a Celebrity
Yeah,
get
that's fair to
prepared
say.
to start again. And Harry has a few points to take us through. What
Yeah,
what was hot and what was not?
yeah. I sat and watched the entire episode on Saturday because I had nothing better to do. Not many people do at the moment, stuck in lockdown. But yeah, as like you said, I was looking forward to seeing it again. It's a familiar TV program that we like to all sit down and watch every year, um, and a bit of normality, as you say. It's nice to see something recognizable return to our screens. But I have to say, the launch show usually is a bit slow to get going and is usually a bit rubbish. But I was quite disappointed with what I saw, to be honest. Plenty of box tickers for a start. There's only 12 celebrities this year, but plenty of them ticked all the boxes that the BBC like to tick. We won't go into that too much so far, but I thought the atmosphere was quite flat. I know there's not much they can do about that because they can't have many people in the audience, but it just felt flat. I didn't feel that the presenters, because they had no audience to feed off, so there was sort of jokes that sort of fell apart, and then they added in the canned laughter and the canned applause, which I can't bear. It's like when I watch an American sitcom, I can just about deal with Friends, but any of the others where they just insert canned laughter after every single sentence when it's not even a joke, it just annoys me. And I couldn't stop listening to that, to be honest. Once I knew it was canned laughter and canned applause, I was just like, no, I can't unhear this now. Um, I felt that it was actually boring at times. I mean, they did all the pairings up, and then in between that, they did some long VTs and stuff, and it just seemed to go on and on. And they were filling time. The only good parts were the group dances, um, and they were really good. The two professional group dances that were done, and then the celebrity group dance at the end. Um, but my biggest gripe with it, to be honest, is that I don't know many of the contestants. I've noticed this in the last few years anyway. I've seemed to know fewer and fewer celebrities, but this year really was. I only know two of them probably. The rest of them, no idea. I wouldn't even say they're C-list celebs. They're more N-list celebs, and N stands for nobody, because I have no idea. I've never seen half of these people before. It's just like, wow, this is really desperate. And yeah, I just hope it picks up, because that was not a good start from where I was sitting. And then, of course, the same-sex pairing. Of course, that's the big story, really, to do with Strictly this year. It's the first time they've done it. Dancing on Ice trialled it, I think, in the last series last year. And I don't have a problem with same-sex dance partnerships. I think you see it quite a lot professionally. I think you see it around the world a lot. So there's no problem with that. But what I don't understand, this is where I'm coming from, I just don't understand the agenda behind it, because you see, if everyone in the competition was able to choose a male or a female partner, then I wouldn't really give it a second thought. But I just find it intriguing that the only contestant in the competition that's in the same-sex pairing happens to be a lesbian. And it's not this. There seems to be a pattern emerging here, because Dancing on Ice I think the same-sex pairing, it was two gay men. Now, this is nothing. This show is not a dating show. It's got nothing to do with relationships or sexuality or dating. So, what is the agenda here? That's what I don't get, and I find it a little bit uncomfortable. The fact that they're taking someone's sexual persuasion, and that seems to be the reason behind it, which I don't seem to understand. I thought the whole thing, every year they're trying to bat off the idea of Strictly Curses and trying not to make it happen, and yet they're pairing two people of the same sex together. It seems to be because one or both of them are either lesbian or gay or part of it. Yeah, part of LGBTQ plus. So that's what I don't understand, and I just find it odd. We'll see what happens with it. I'm sure it's going to be interesting. It's nice to be giving the women the chance to play the part in the dance that they wouldn't normally do, as in sort of leading the dance rather than just following, because usually the men lead, don't they? So it'll be interesting to watch, but I just don't understand the agenda behind it and why it's needed. But that's just where I'm coming from. But any points you want to raise?
Unlike Harry, I didn't watch the whole episode. I was otherwise occupied on Saturday night. But what I did watch was the main celebrity group dance at the end of the episode. And it didn't disappoint. I know that sometimes celebrities fall flat. There was Susanna, who was paired with Anton a few years ago, who looked more like a horse on ice. Anne Widdecombe,
of course,
John Sargent, some big names. Who Ed Balls? How could we forget Ed Balls? Some big names who failed to translate their celebrity onto Strictly Come Dancing. But I think this year it's in for some tough competition. There are quite a few older celebrities this year: Carolyn Quentin, Bill Bailey, comedian, and a politician who I'm not.
Former Home Secretary, I can't remember her name. So you
Home,
don't even know who these people are.
Former Home Secretary.
Sounds bad that I don't know who a former Home Secretary was, but probably it was before our time, wasn't it?
But I have to say, Bill Bailey didn't look too bad. He looked one of the stronger dancers. He had a sense of rhythm, which always helps in dance. We've seen dancers have no rhythm at all. Again, I mentioned Susanna. Karen Quentin and the former Home Secretary, however, they look like they need work. And I just have to say, poor Anton being landed with the former Home Secretary. He's got his work cut out. It's going to be an interesting series with COVID. It's going to be an interesting series with the same-sex pairing, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they've got.
As I say, I'm hoping that it's going to get better once the dancing starts. The launch show usually is a bit rubbish, but I just found it especially rubbish this year. So fingers crossed that it doesn't go the same way as BGT and has a disastrous year, because that was a total disaster. So let's hope we don't lose another good TV program, because I fear otherwise TV's dead. If Strictly goes, there's no hope, is there?
So thank you for joining us for another entertainment review. I've been Sam Hannah. He's been Harry Eastwood. This has been Hannah and Eastwood get real. Make sure you like the video, and more importantly, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel to make sure that you get to see our new and exclusive content first. Good night.